and welcome back to the Ask Johnny channel. Hypocrisy, that's right, hypocrisy. Is it just an extension of lying to people? And why the hell do we put up with it? G'day Johnny, today we've got a letter from Engelbert Bert. And Engelbert Bert is in the Falkland Islands, for Christ's sake, Johnny. We don't get many letters from the Falkland Islands, Johnny, but Engelbert Bert says, Johnny, the world seems to be full of hypocrisy these days. Do you think hypocrisy is on the rise in society, Johnny? Signed, Engelbert Bert in the Falkland Islands. Thanks, Engelbert Bert. Yeah, Johnny, is hypocrisy on the rise, you reckon? Hypocrisy, Johnny? Is hypocrisy on the increase? Well, I think it is.
You know, we throw this word around a lot. Hypocrite. You know, as soon as someone stumbles or makes a mistake, you're a hypocrite, we'll say. Well, look, we have to understand what the word actually means. To be a hypocrite doesn't mean that you make mistakes and you don't always live up to what you believe. That's not hypocrisy, that's called humanity.
I mean, back in the old days, Johnny, with kings and peasants and all that sort of bloody bullshit, the king would say to these bloody peasants, right, the French are coming over and they want to take over the bloody country, or the Romans, whoever it was. Oh, I want to get an army fired up and we're going to fight these bastards because we're all
England, in the gallant days when history hung on the flight of an arrow or the slash of a sword, when feudal barons ravaged the countryside to live in pomp and splendour.
Because we're all in this together and we don't want no French taking over the bloody country. But is that hypocrisy, Johnny, really? Is that hypocrisy? Well, it sort of is, Johnny. Well, you're just a bastard of a king. Well, I don't know, but it wasn't a very fair thing to do to the poor bloody peasants, was it? It just seems a bit hypocritical, Johnny, to be producing a documentary on hypocrisy and we're not even showing a I mean, the king's living one way and telling everybody to bloody tighten their belt and do all this bloody bullshit while he's sitting up there drinking bloody wine and feasting on goose and all that bloody stuff.
When feudal barons ravaged the countryside to live in pomp and splendour.
People who usually say one thing but do another are hypocrites. They are great pretenders and are quick to spot other mistakes and errors, even though they claim to be right.
But Johnny, where did hypocrisy get its name?
The word hypocrisy comes from the Greek hypokrisis, which means jealous, play acting, acting out, coward, or dissembling.
But there's one political system, Johnny, a political system that'll never survive because of hypocrisy. Right, yeah, oh by Jesus. Communism. Yeah, that's right, communism. I mean the bloody communism. I mean, the bloody history's full of communistic countries doing this and doing that, and we got to live like this, and the people, it's all for the people, and one for all, and all for one, and all that bloody bullshit. Have a look at Cuba. Oh, Cuba, a classic example. I mean, they were going to take over old bloody Che Guevara and what's his name? They fought in the jungles for bloody years and years, because they wanted to bloody free Cuba from all this bloody stuff and they were going to do this and do that. But when they got in, they weren't any fucking different than the people that they'd kicked out. They all started getting around in fancy cars and living in bloody fancy houses, and the poor bastards in Cuba are, well, they're still bloody downtrodden.
Might get. As the years go by, I wonder more and more if George Orwell wasn't actually a time traveller for real. So right has he proven to be about where decisions made and actions taken in the 20th century would lead future generations.
I don't think you know what you're bloody talking about half the time. So on the one hand, Johnny, you got these leaders, these freedom fighters, they used to call them, saying we're going to do this and we're going to do all this for the country and all this for the country. And instead they just bloody smoked cigars and fucking lived in flash houses. But then, Johnny, you got religion. That's right, religion. Most of the religions around the world are full of hypocrites. Take our good old Christian religion. So out with it, Johnny. What do you really think? Yeah, there's bloody millions of people go to church every Sunday and chat away nicely to folks and pray to the Lord Jesus and every other bloody thing. But during the week, they're a bunch of bastards. I think everybody knows someone like that. Surely, Johnny, the people hypocritising, if Jesus was around today, do you think he'd be a hypocrite? be walking around in his bloody caftan and bloody thongs, and he wouldn't have a home, and he'd probably be locked up. Do you mean to say that they can get away with that? And the cops would say you're a homeless bum, Jesus. But he wouldn't be a hypocrite, that's for sure.
In Animal Farm, his fable about communism, he predicted the abuse of trust and the exploitation of power. Once the pigs have control of the farm, they immediately set about taking advantage of their situation. When the other animals notice, for instance, that the pigs are taking all the milk and apples for themselves, while everyone else must eat tasteless slop, the pig's PR spokesman, called Squealer, explains the move is backed by science. Comrades, he tells them, you do not imagine, I hope, that we pigs are doing this in a spirit of selfishness and privilege. Many of us actually dislike apples. I dislike them myself. Our sole object in taking these things is to preserve our health. Milk and apples, this has been proved by science, comrades, contain substances absolutely necessary to the well-being of a pig. We are brain workers. The whole management and organisation of the farm depends on us. I read those lines again and think about the science we've heard so much about recently.
These days, Johnny, particularly in election time, governmental hypocrisy, it comes to the fore.
Here's the deal.
Let me say this simply and clearly. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by God. You know this. You know the thing. You know how we talk about it. Are we the people, folks?
But Johnny, surely people who hypocritise, they must bloody realise that they're hypocritising. Do they even care?
Energy giant Eon recently sent pairs of polyester socks to customers with the message, energy down, CO2 down. Those literally in control of the power have been telling people to wear more clothes to fend off the cold rather than have heating in their homes.
And our press, Johnny, our fabulous press don't seem to jump on hypocrisy whenever they see or hear it. They just say, all right, yeah. Are you saying they don't even care?
Let me ram those words down his throat, Your Highness. From this night on, I use every means in my power to fight you.
If you don't wear a mask, then we're going to be finding you and locking you up and all sorts of bloody stuff. Then they go walking around the back halls of bloody government with no bloody mask at all and having a bloody party. That's hypocrisy for you. It seems, Johnny, humans have this sort of instinct that we tend to believe what people are saying, for God's sake. That's why we keep getting bloody shocked by hypocrisy. I don't know why we should be shocked with hypocrisy. It's been going on for years. I think we've got to be more vigilant. I mean, if a government says, Johnny, we're going to go all green, we're going to have green energy, we're going to be carbon neutral in such and such a bloody year. And I know that just the other day they signed a great big fucking coal export contract. Is that hypocrisy? I don't know whether that's a good example either. It's bloody amazing we put up with it, you know. I mean, Jesus walked around with a bare ass and a bloody caftan and his bloody sandals, and he didn't live in he didn't want to be the Pope. Just seems to be the way we do things here on Earth.
I tell you, gentlemen, science has agreed that unless something is done and done quickly, man as the dominant species of life on Earth will be extinct within a year.